All right. So I've been, first of all, looking at this. Needs to get shaved, like, right now. But I don't feel like taking a shower and then coming back and doing a video. I feel like, you know what? I feel like doing a video right now first. So, watching Entheos come out and post some things. And I'm trying to think, did I mention this yet? A dream I had recently, kind of recently. I don't remember, but I know I'm doing a live stream with JC on Sunday. I don't know if anyone else is going to come. It may just be me and him, but I know Woo Dude can't make it. But anyways, I had this dream. I was watching like the presidential motorcade. And like there was a car that was targeted within the motorcade, which obviously would probably be the president or vice president, whoever's motorcade this was. And I never saw what caused it, but I just saw this one car in the motorcade, like kind of, I don't want to say blasting because I didn't even see a blast, but something causes the car to flip and roll over violently. So, IED or, you know what I mean? Something, but I never saw it. I didn't see what caused it. Did the driver drive off a cliff? I don't know. I just saw the car flipping violently, like so violently that I'm thinking if someone was even in there, that alone might kill somebody. It's just so violently flipping. But the other thing is, I didn't see whose it was. I didn't see if it was Trump. Was it Biden? Was it Biden's vice president? Was it Trump's vice president? Was it something else somewhere else? I don't know. Usually when I've had those Trump dreams, like the aviation thing, crashed or whatever you want to call it, or whatever's going to happen, still hasn't happened yet. Like he was there in the dream with me every single time, 3 different times. He was there. I saw him every time. This time in this motorcade thing, I don't see anybody. I just watched the motorcade going by and then this one particular vehicle flipping. And I was like, was it a car or like an SUV? And I go, man, I'm leaning toward, it flipped so fast, it was hard to tell, but I felt like it was a car, not a bigger SUV. So the one that was flipping, but anyways, I just want to throw that out there. I don't know if I've talked about that yet. And just, I may have said this too. I had a dream again recently, right, really close to around that same time with the motorcade thing. And where am I? I don't know which state I'm in. I'm somewhere else. I'm not in Florida. And my friend Amy and her husband Larry, well, they're both my friends. Larry was driving a pickup truck like a maniac. Like just driving like a maniac. And then all of a sudden this earthquake hits and he finally slows down and stops and we're kind of assessing the damage and stuff. And like buildings, roadways had gotten damaged and things like that. But I knew wherever this earthquake was, it wasn't where we were. But we did feel the damage where we were. So I text my wife, who is in Florida, did you guys feel that? She doesn't say yes or no. She just replies, 10.2, Los Angeles, California. Something like that. Or somewhere in California. I was pretty sure she said Los Angeles, California. And I was like, oh, but I knew wherever I was not in California, and we still felt it, and there was damage where I was, like in buildings and stuff. So I'm going, holy crap. That's probably what you would expect with a giant, quake. So anyways, kind of fast forward a little bit. Entheos is back out posting a little bit here and there. Tori has been saying something about Christmas, Christmas, wink, wink, Christmas. What are you alluding to, Tori? Are we going to see some arrests finally, And I'm going, maybe. And she's like, 9 more days or 11 more days, whatever it was on the date she said it, which equals December 20th. Of course, my birthday is a couple days later, 22nd. So I'm like, man, I might have me a great birthday and a great Christmas. So I'm just like, what is he saying? She's like, gosh, I wish Christopher Wray would hurry up and on his donkey. Which, the justice comes in slow on a donkey. But when it comes, it does come. And Ray is resigning. As you've heard, he's going to resign. And all this stuff. And I thought I heard that Justice Clarence Thomas, he's going to be retiring in January. Like, right, I was like, whoa. So maybe some justice is going to be served. Some Supreme Court rulings are going to be served, if you will, just in time for the new year, on or about that time frame. So I don't know. I'm kind of hopeful, but we'll see. But I'm watching Entheos' post today, and he's got a bunch of, on Telegram, and he's got a bunch of old posts that he's posted that he's now basically telling you, hey, go check these out right now. And a couple of them caught my eye. One of them is new, like not really an old one he's really referring to. This is a new one that just came up, but he did post about it a few days ago and now has posted to it in this big, long post that has all the posts in it, telling us all to go click individually these posts. Well, of course, a bunch of them are old. I remember them. Like, okay, I remember that. Well, the new one, someone wrote, man, that's why Trump keeps playing that song and talking about YMCA. There is a place in Guantánamo Bay, apparently, they call the YMCA, or YMCA Guantánamo Bay. If Entheos is posting this little jokey thing, or if it's not really a joke, then what do you think that means? Pay attention. And he posted, in that post, one of the other posts leads back to, again, an older one. But the older one had a bunch of posts in that on his Telegram. But there's like, I think, some red lights or red dots, a couple, 2 or 3 posts, and then green dots like all the way across too. Like almost like Christmas, right? Red and green ornaments, if you will. Again, Christmas hint, I don't know. Maybe. So, the YMCA thing. He is talking about it, it means something, okay? So maybe it means exactly what the person said. Hey, Guantanamo Bay? Yeah. And then there was the old post, which I've talked about, but it's been a while. Haven't seen anything happen with it, as far as what he's alluding to, I believe. But it's in there again. And he's like, Marker met, the rattlesnake thing, and few things. Don Jr. holding the rattlesnake on the railroad tracks. Just some things we all knew was a calm when we saw it, but we didn't know exactly what. So it's the old post where he says parity, not parody, parity, as in 1-to-1, parity. Something is parity with something else. And he has a picture, a little tiny icon, you got to zoom in to see it, of the US dollar sign, the Chinese Yuan sign. And if you start at the top left corner, it's because figure a square, right? There's a square. The top left corner is the dollar. To the right, left to right, is a down arrow. Then bottom left, under the dollar, is an up arrow. And to the right of that is the Chinese Yuan symbol for their currency. And I'm going, if the dollar, which has the arrow under it going up, but, when you read things, you read from left to right. So the dollar sign to the right would be the down arrow. Then go down a level, right, like you're reading a book, a sentence. Then you have an up arrow with the Chinese Yuan. I think is in that order. Because I'm like, well, maybe they're trying to show the dollar's going up. But I'm going, well, if you read left to right, like you're supposed to, it's the dollar, down arrow, then an up arrow, Chinese Yuan. So if the revaluing happens, and I've said this before, I haven't changed my mind on this, then that means if it takes, which I just looked, $7.27 of, as far as Yuan currency, to equal $1, that means one of our dollars over in China is worth $7. We'll just round off the 7 instead of saying 7.27. We'll round off the 7. So if these two things are going to come to parity, either one has to go up while the other one's coming down, or the other one can stay where it's at while the other one has to make the drastic change. So I'm going, okay, is there any chance our dollar is going to become even more powerful? If it did, then the Chinese yuan cannot have parity with the dollar. Because let's just say the dollar got super powerful. Oh, Trump baby, you know, dollar. It goes to, you know, worth $2, let's say. Just easy math here, just easy talking, just make this make sense. So $1 now, purchasing power is actually worth 2. The dollar went up in value, which would mean the Chinese yuan now has to be 14. It's going to take 14 Chinese yuan to equal $1. So that doesn't make sense. But if the dollar has to dump and lose value, and again, I've said this from day one with the 35 trillion debt, it can't be the superpower. It's going away. It has to. The dollar has to dump. And if the dollar dumps, but the Chinese yuan even stays the same, we could reach parity with that. Right? Because the dollar taking 7 yuan with it, dollar starts dumping, it's going to start to equate, ultimately leading to 1-to-1 with the Chinese yuan. That's my opinion of what I'm reading from Entheos' little hint post or whatever. Now, the other thing, I go, okay, but I had a dream, and this is public information now, of Tether going up to around $8. Like, I saw 8 in the chart in the dream. It was clear as day. And I'm watching a chart. Starts off at $2. This is how it starts. And it's just going sideways. And then all of a sudden, it goes down at about a 45-degree angle. And then, straightens out again, goes down like this. Now it's $4. Does the same thing again. You know, like some time goes by. I don't know how much time. I don't know what the chart was set on, but some time goes by. Does it again, about a 45-degree angle. Then it levels off again, keeps going. Now it's $6. Does it again to $8. I'm like, what crypto am I looking at? What is this that's doing this? I look over. Holy shit, it's Tether? I wake up. What the hell did I just see? So I'm going, okay, is there any scenario where I could see Tether not going to $8, but costing $8 for one Tether? Which, again, that'd be Tether at $8. Or even vice versa, where it's like, well, it's going to take you 8 Tethers to equal $1 or whatever, versus $8 equaling one Tether. So, in other words, if a crypto coin goes to $8, it'd be like Tether's no longer pegged to the dollar. So it's worth $8. And they've always claimed we've got gold, and we've got real estate, and we've got all these other assets. Again, whether you believe it or not, again, I'm with you. Like they could just go from a few billion to 60, 70, 80, 90 billion dollars. Give me a effing break. But for the big swears out there, if it wasn't for Tether, zero of your crypto bags would be worth a shit. So whether they're manipulating, rigging, adding Tether out of nothing, they're making some of you and me wealthy. So don't forget to lick your ice cream. Take your profits. Don't watch it melt. Now, having said that, Tether, if it depegs from the US dollar due to the dollar crashing, and they go, well, we don't want to peg to this anymore. We're going to go to the Chinese yuan, or we're just going to go through a basket of currencies, or we're not going to go to any currencies. We're going to just, hey, we told you we have real estate, property, you know, gold, silver, commodity, we've got all kinds of stuff. That's what we're going to back it with. So that's our Tether now. It's no longer a stable coin. It's this. They could do that in the blink of an eye. And then all of a sudden, each Tether's worth, let's say, $8 because the dollar has crashed. And that's the new norm. So I'm going, but is there a chance that there's a way to flip that? Because remember, the chart was going down. Normally when a coin goes up in price, the chart goes up, right? It should have went $2 up, $4 up, $6 up. But in this case, in this dream, strange, the lines in the chart, the price line is going down to a higher number. So $2 to $4, which doesn't make sense, right? $4 to $6. So I'm going, maybe they're showing me two things in one dream, right? Maybe they're saying the dollar's crashing down. That's why you see the line going down. That's why we presented that to you in the dream, Mr. Snip, Joseph of the Snips. But the price of Tether is going up because the dollar is crashing. And I go, maybe that's why they're showing it to me that way. Because why? It doesn't make sense. Why is the price going down, or the line going down, but the price is going up? This is complete opposite of what's supposed to happen. So I'm just like, well, what does that mean? So I'm like, well, is it possible that, $1 again, is going to be worth 8 Tether? Or is it going to be 8 Tether worth $1? And I'm like, trying to figure this out. It could be one or the other. But it's like, that went down, but the price went up. So I'm just going, with Entheos' parity thing, I could not see the dollar crashing in price to go to parity with the Chinese Yuan. Because again, it's 7.27. As far as numbers are concerned, that's pretty close to 8. It's not exactly 8. Maybe the price will change here shortly. And if it's 8 yuan to $1, it's going to be like, dude, they're going to depeg from the US dollar. Maybe they're going to peg to the yuan, Tether. I don't know. But with the dollar crashing, you could not have Tether, costing, 8 Tether to equal $1. That would be one hell of a devaluation of your Tether. But if it's the other way, and my interpretation of that dream is correct, then it's going to cost $8 for you to buy 1 Tether. So if you were sitting on Tether at its current dollar price, and it went $8 to $8, you're now 800% or so higher in value. That's one hell of a move for doing nothing but sitting on a freaking stable coin that's supposed to be stable that changed their mind. Again, if this is interpreted correctly from myself. So he's posting things right now, Entheos, and one of those things is the dollar yuan parity, up arrow, down arrow, whatever. And again, in my mind, if the dollar gets even stronger, then $7.27 ain't going to cut it for the yuan. It's going to be $8, $9, $10, $11, $12 yuan to one of our dollars. And I just can't see it. So the other thing was, I did have a dream earlier this year in January or February, I think. And I think it was January. And I'm like, man, I just had this crazy dream. The lady felt like she just lost her child, like crying her eyes out, devastated. I asked her what was wrong. And she looks up at me and she's like, the market's going to crash in April, or they're going to crash the market in April, something like that. I think it's the market's going to crash in April. So I'm like, hey, you better be ready. We had the cryptos ran a little bit. The altcoins did have a nice drop, but I'm not feeling it. That's what I saw. That's not devastation. That's a normal crypto thing. I'm going, man, it didn't happen. What else can I say? That guy Brandon of Last Days YouTube channel, the one that got Trump's ear getting shot in advance, that dude, he's called some things. So he was like, I think in a month or two later, which I didn't know him then or know of him then, he was like, oh my God, the Lord showed me the market's going to crash. They're going to pull the rug in April. So April came and went. Stock market, nothing happened. He's like, yeah, I guess, I'm sorry, guys. I got what I got. Well, later on, he gets some information, another prophetic piece of information, whatever you want to call it. And he goes, oh my God, I think it's this coming April. They're going to pull the rug on Trump. They're going to pull the rug on Trump. And I go, well, technically speaking, we were both told April. We weren't told a year, which, again, whatever. So I'm going, maybe it's this April. And again, stock market, crypto, everything. And Julianne had given me a channeling specifically for me a few months ago, where she talked about 1 decimal point to the right, then 2 to the left. Be ready, Joseph of the Snips. Tell your people. So I told my Patreon people, I go, guys, we're going to have to decipher some of this because it's going to take a little deciphering. And I think we figured it out. So I'm like, 1 decimal point to the right is a real nice rally. That's a 10x move. Again, if you just had a number and it went to the exact number. But I said, here's an example though. If XRP is 50 cents and it only goes to $1 or a little over $1, that is 1 decimal point moving to the right. That's not a 10x move. Just keep that in mind. But whatever it is, 1 decimal point to the right and then 2 decimal points to the left would be coming. That is 20 cent XRP, friends, coming. So where are we going to get with XRP and these other ones in the meantime? And I don't have the answer, but I did have a dream 2 years ago on an exact price of XRP, and we have not hit it yet in this current bull rally. It's getting kind of slightly close, but not quite. So I'm going, that might be my target for this little move here. And whatever everything else is at that time, I'll just probably sell everything else and along with it, and just say, okay, let's see, because she told me that. And she said something about, like you make the transition nicely, you're okay, which I did. We got back in the market, made a bunch of money on XRP so far. And some other ones, Voodoo gave us a couple others recently. They did fantastic right after he told us. This is amazing. But this crash that's coming, I think you're going to get your 20 cent XRP. And it could be just a few months away. So I'm going, well, that doesn't mean the market can't start turning down in the meantime. And then, oh, it's back up. No, it's back down more. Oh, it's back up. No, it's back down even more. You have this little zigzag, but it's going down. And then all of a sudden the hellacious crash of, let's say, April comes. So I'm kind of preparing for that. And, just, again, the Julianne thing, she's like, oh, you transition nicely. For the 7 suns comes upon us soon, or something like that. 7 suns? What is that? 7 days? Like, it's not weekly, it's not monthly, it's a moon cycle, not yearly. It's not gonna be 7 years. What does that mean? I don't know. We're trying to figure it out. Well, after she gives me that, it was maybe a month later, 3 weeks later, something. There's this picture going viral all over the place of 7 suns. Someone filmed in China. Some kind of illusion or whatever it is. But their camera took a picture of 7 suns. And then some people, Joe, you see this picture on? Do you see this? I go, dude, are you kidding me right now? The 7 sun? I go, well, we've already made our move. We're already back in crypto. So let's just see. Well, then again, not too long after that, the rally starts. It starts getting really good. And here we are, 100K Bitcoin, XRP. $2.80 something, 90 cents. And interesting, that was one of our original sell targets for XRP. But I go, because it did do a nice sell off down to $1.90. But I go, that one dream I had 2 years ago, somebody reminded me, Joe, don't you remember? I go, oh my God, yes, I do. Yes. And I'm going, we're not there yet. Even $3 isn't there. So I'm going, maybe we'll hit that before the 2 decimals to the left take place. But you got to remember, even if it doesn't, with the current price it's $2.45 or so right now, somewhere around there, $2.42, something like that. That's a big increase from 40 and 50 cents where we got in. So do not forget to take some profit, regardless if it does even go higher. You should be taking some profit if you got in at 40 or 50 or 60 or whatever cents. And if you get your initial investment out and let the rest ride, at least you're covered. You've got your money back. If it goes to zero, who cares? Your money's back. But it ain't going to go to zero. It's a wise thing to do rather than sit on there and ride it all the way to the top and then ride all the way back down again and not have done anything with it besides gut-wrenching, sickness in your stomach on the way down because you didn't do anything. So anyways, I just felt like doing a video this morning. Time to take a shower. And let's see what happens here, friends. Take care.